Hey, Scarefest fans, this is Joe Lewis of Bonehead Weekly. This one's kind of a review and an essay on my own thoughts of this cult, if you will. This week I want to review, it's a 4-part miniseries. Many of you have already seen it. It's on Netflix, Meredith, so you can watch it. It's called The Nightstalker. And no, it's not about Darren McGavin chasing vampires in Vegas. Nightstalker, The Hunt for a Serial Killer. It's a pretty good documentary. It's a little flashy. It's a little, anybody remembers this A&E? It's a little bit of like A&E documentaries back in the day. Too many slow pans, too many here. But it basically follows talking heads, the detectives, two of the detectives who, one was younger, one was older. Please forgive me, I'm not going to go into the names, and how they tracked him. A lot about the shoes that ended up helping them, the specific types of shoes. They interview some of the victims' families. They interview one poor lady who, he abducted her as a little girl, and I'm not going to go into more of that because I just don't want to talk about it. And I enjoyed it. There was a few things that I learned that I didn't know. Most of the killing took place in 1985. I'm sure somebody out there is going to correct me. I'm not going to give out numbers of what all he did or didn't do. He was pretty vicious. He was hard to catch because he didn't necessarily have a modus operandi, an MO. There were the young, there were old, there were men, there were women. He abducted children and would sometimes molest them and let them go, and him claiming to be a Satan worshiper and all that. I enjoyed the documentary. Like I said, it was educational. It's a little overdone, but I liked learning more about it. Now, I know a lot of you all out there are true crime fans. I'm a true crime fan to a certain extent. We get on Bonehead Weekly some requests to talk about our favorite serial killers. Well, we don't do that because I refuse, because I don't have a lot of morals, but I do have this one of I refuse to give any of these assholes more airtime because a lot of them are looking for attention and they can just suck it, because these people ruined and destroyed people and families and lives, and I refuse to talk about them for the most part. I'll talk about movies about them a little bit. I'll talk about like this documentary. I understand why people find serial killers fascinating. I truly do. These people are awful. They're truly awful. I don't have a favorite serial killer because they're all fucking awful. They're terrible, terrible pieces of shit. I know. Wes, sorry about that. If you need to bleep me or just let me know. How do these men find groupies? Why are certain people attracted to these men? Richard Ramirez was not only a murderer, he's a pedophile. He abducted children and molested them. And he still had groupies of men. I'm assuming mainly women is what I saw. I don't want to be sexist, but mainly women. Maybe there's some men throwing themselves and writing him letters and talking about how much they loved him and how cool he was. And I cannot wrap my mind around it. In fact, when they get towards the 4th episode of the series, it was talking about the groupies and the fascination. 2 things I can't comprehend in life. 1, murdering a stranger. Why? Now, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but someone does you wrong and you try to do something wrong. That's revenge. I don't think it's right, but I can wrap my mind around it. You shouldn't hurt anyone. Just hurting strangers. That's 1. 2, how could somebody want to sleep with these people? How could they still just be obsessed with them? I don't know. It's driving me crazy. And I know this is a little different. I usually just do reviews and make a few jokes, but it's driving me crazy because I can't wrap my mind around how these people, sick people following other sick people. If you have hate mail, send it to Evil Joe at Twitter or Joe Lewis on Facebook, either one. If you have ideas of why I can't understand or comprehend this, and you can explain it to me, of how these people have groupies, please let me know. How did Richard Ramirez, who didn't have a straight tooth in his head, have groupies? This has been Joe Lewis of Bonehead Weekly, a little different. Hope I didn't upset you too much. Thank you so much, Scarefest.